Everything you know about comedy is because of him. Did he just say, touch my dick? No, he just said that. Okay, wait. I gotta explain this one. Hello YouTube, my name is Myles Anderson. I'm a professional joke explainer, and today we're looking at the jokes of Howie Mandel. We're gonna deconstruct the character that he's playing on stage. We're gonna look into how he succeeded in show business and try to explain all of the difficult concepts and societal issues that he addresses throughout his stand-up special that was taped back in the 1980s. So get on board, we're going to Joke Town. All right, the special's on HBO.
I said to myself, where am I going to do my North American Watusi tour? And then I decided Chicago, and then I said to myself, where's Chicago? Look, here's Chicago, but how do you get in? There's the entrance. Let's go.
All right, this is just the intro for the special, and he's already told an incredibly funny joke, kind of pointing out the obvious, standing in front of the sign, saying, here's Chicago. You know, he's got such a brilliant comedic mind that he sees an opportunity for a joke and he takes it. Very hilarious observation. The joke is that it's just kind of obvious.
Chicago. Come on, this is so exciting. Big show tonight. They're throwing a parade for me.
Howie!
How you doing?
Huge fan base.
My parade. Well, this is so exciting. Come here. This building is a water tower, and this is famous for being the only building in Chicago in the downtown area that didn't burn down during the Chicago fire. Why don't we find out why? So be neat. Watch this. Come on, burn, baby, burn.
Right, so the joke is that you can't light stone on fire.
That explains it. An asbestos building.
And then he says, so he's kind of playing the fool
you
there.
guys buy tickets?
Funny stuff.
Buy tickets. How much are they charging for tickets? 14 bucks. I'm scalping my own tickets. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, all I have left is balcony.
Great drum fill on the punchline there.
Isaac Jacobs, right? Yeah. He's been with me for over 25 years, so he's the choreographer with our show. Barney's been with me, well, he hasn't been with me a long time. Barney, you were with Fred for many years, and now you're with Howie. Yeah. And he's in charge of most of the special effects you'll see in tonight's performance. How's it going? Everything
Everything's going perfect.
Perfect.
Hey man, you know, we're here if you need.
When you have a chance to do an accent, do it. Number one rule of comedy there. And so he took it.
In charge of the animals I'll be using on the show.
That's right.
They trained
Sheep trainers.
sheep trainers. Hi. Well, I'm here.
See the excitement?
That's funny because he didn't. He had an interaction with everybody else beforehand. They all had something to say, and then this guy in the booth just sitting there with his legs up. So the contrast is kind of the joke.
The excitement in their eyes. Can we see the excitement in your eyes? All right. Look at that.
Wow, look at that crowd.
Number one, in Chicago.
All right, great opening bit there. Just sort of screaming, which is obviously the unexpected thing to do. So a lot of regular stand-up comics would say something funny, but he just yells, which subverts the expectation that you have for a stand-up comedian. So that's the joke there. Crowd loves it. It's the first time we've seen any prop comedy on this channel. So the joke there is that normally a bag would look like something innocuous, like a sort of a sack with a strap on it, but he comes out with a bag shaped like a hand, and the crowd just explodes. So, you know, again, it's just something you wouldn't expect. You'd expect a regular bag, but Howie Mandel brings out a handbag. You get it? Very funny.
All right, okay. Listen to this, all right, before I start, shit, I did. Okay, no.
Oh, the mic fell down.
All right, okay, here's what I'm gonna do.
Mics aren't supposed to do that, so.
All right, all right. No, listen.
Okay, so Howie Mandel kind of does like a bit of a character. Now, obviously, in the 21st century, you know, in this day and age, it's not okay to make fun of people who might be neurodivergent. But back in 1980s, people thought it was very funny if you acted like that, and so, you know, the crowd loves it, so it's okay. Howie Mandel really takes this very far. This character of a person whose brain is different.
Okay, listen, all right, before I start, okay, I'm going to tell you some stuff. And when I tell you this, you're going to say to yourself, Howie, can't be. All right, listen to this, all right? Listen to this. Isn't that neat? Before I came here tonight, I went to a restaurant, right? And I ate dinner there because the guy at the front door said, no volleyball. What? What are you laughing at?
All right, so this is pretty rapid fire. Tons of jokes happening right away. First, he screeched, which is, you know, something you don't expect, which makes you laugh. And then he says, I went to a restaurant to eat because the guy said, you can't play volleyball here. So the joke there is that he went into the restaurant hoping to play volleyball because that's a wacky thing to do. And the guy said, no, you have to eat here. So the joke is that he intended to play volleyball in the restaurant, which of course is kind of in line with the character that he's playing, which is somebody who is challenged developmentally.
What are you laughing at? Look where my hips are. Isn't that weird? So weird. I got deodorant on my hips. Anyways, the restaurant was one of those revolving restaurants, but it was revolving at like 80 miles an hour. And there were no tables or chairs. I was just stuck to the wall. The food was going by. And I spilled some water on me and it dried right away. And it was fun. Listen to this. It was a lot of fun, but leaving was a bitch. It was like just...
All right, so great joke there about, so in the 1980s, most restaurants were revolving restaurants, which is why the crowd really reacted to that bit there. Obviously, that's a fake story because they don't go that fast, but the joke is people imagining that the restaurant was spinning that fast, which is why the audience screamed and gave him an applause break. And he responded by screaming as well, which sort of amplified the punchline of his joke. No one before or since Howie Mandel has screamed at the end of their jokes. And so he's a real pioneer in scream comedy.
Okay, listen to this. And then I went to another restaurant, right? And I know I was at another restaurant because I asked the waiter, I said, where am I? And he said, you're at another restaurant. And I said, shit, I was supposed to meet me here for dinner. And then, well, here's what happened. It was one of those theme restaurants. It's called the Ouija Room, and the whole restaurant's like a giant Ouija board. And you just sit at your table and you think about shit, and your table slides all over. Listen what happened. I was at the restaurant, and when I was okay, and then when the waiter came, I said, "Ooh, look, the waiter came." And then I thought it makes a nice holiday.
Okay, so he's got a couple jokes in there again, similar vein to the revolving restaurant joke, where he just wants the crowd to sort of imagine a really wacky situation, like a table moving around, like a Ouija board. That's a wacky thing. So the crowd laughs at that thought. So that's the joke, is just that it's a wacky situation.
Holiday thought. And here's what I did. Oh, you gotta try this. That's a neat position. All right, you gotta try this. This is what I did. I ordered a chicken and an egg, right? Because I just wanted to see what would come first.
All right, massive joke there about the classic proverb, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And so by ordering two at the restaurant, he's referencing that proverb, which everybody knows in the audience. So they recognize the reference and they give it up big time.
Everybody, come here for a minute. That'd be me. What's your name? Kelly. Kelly! And what do you do for a living? I'm a PA system. What do you do, Kelly?
All right, so he's gone through all of his material now. He's about 8 minutes in, I guess not including the intro. So 3 minutes of prepared stuff, and now he's gonna do some crowd work to fill the rest of the special. He's going after this guy in the front row who was loud. So Howie said, "What do you do for a living? Are you a PA system?" Which, of course, the joke there is that the humans can't be an electrical system. So, see where this goes.
You work for her dad. Oh, that's good. So you don't really love her.
Got him.
He's fucking you for a job.
Not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting Howie to swear in this special. I thought this was kind of like a Disney thing, but he said it.
What do you do for her dad? I fuck his daughter.
So back in the 80s, you couldn't really say stuff like this. You couldn't say, I fuck his daughter. America was still in the midst of the Cold War. Things were still very conservative. So for a person to just go on stage and say fuck, you could really fill a stadium with that back then. This is radical,
Son, I got
radical
a job
stuff.
for you. See Lisa in the other room? What do you do? He's a cabinet maker. Really? And what is your job? Sweeping up. Sweeping up. You sweep up for a cabinet maker. So he saws and then he'll go sweep this up. Now go home and fuck my daughter.
Great callback to about 40
married?
seconds ago.
You're not married? How long you been going out? Person! What's your name? I'll just call you Sybil.
I don't understand the reference there, but the crowd loves it.
What's your name? Mike. And what do you do, Mike? I don't understand. What do you do? You're all wearing ties, except Mike. It's like you got your own language. I don't even understand what the fuck you're talking about. It's like being in Europe. It's like my show just went to Europe. I don't understand what you three are talking about. What do you do? You notice that when you're talking to somebody that doesn't speak the language, what do? We talk louder and slower, right? Where's the bus? Where is the bus? Do that the other way around. and somebody comes up to you and he goes, and you go, I'm sorry, I don't understand. So he goes, you go, oh, it's right over there.
Huge applause break again. In our modern times, we don't usually make fun of people with disabilities, but Howie Mandel, again, is a totally different era, so crowd loves it, and they love his crowd interaction there.
What's your name? Dave. What do you do, Dave? Purchasing. Some people call that shopping.
Got him. So the guy, Dave, obviously the joke is that he used a nerdy word, purchasing, and then the Howie Mandel, who's a very cool, hip guy, says, some people call that shopping. And so he really owned that square in that row there. So that's the joke.
You get up in the morning, you grab a little cart, some of this. I'm purchasing.
Yeah, I got him.
This is my job. What do you purchase, Dave?
Anything they want.
Anything they want. Dave, go get me some popcorn. Go to work. Is there popcorn out there? Go get me popcorn. Is there snacks? Drinks? Go get me something to drink. Go get me the drink. Go get me a drink. Get me anything. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know if this is a joke. I think he's quite serious here.
Stand up.
Yeah, he is.
You came in and you were really happy because you said, I got a good seat. I'm right up front, right? Did you think that? You thought that, didn't you? But these aren't attached.
So the joke here is that Howie Mandel is subverting the conventions of stand-up comedy and doing sort of wacky things that other people wouldn't do. So that's why this is hilarious.
Purchase your way back. You're a nut, Dave. What's your name? Bob. Bob, but you spell yours backwards, right? And what do you do, Bob?
I work in a laboratory.
You work in a laboratory, and what are you, a rat? Are they experimenting on you, Dave? Jamming cigarette butts up your ass? They stopped doing that. No, what do you do in the laboratory?
Food laboratory.
It's a food laboratory. So you're experimenting with sandwiches and stuff? Sorry, I had a call coming. What? Look, well, that's good. Go.
It's really risky doing a lot of crowd work on your HBO special because sometimes it's hard to hear what the other people are saying to you. So he's dealing with it well, though. It's very funny.
Go get it, idiot. Come on, go get it. Get it. Go get it. Oh, he'll be right back. Is he your husband? No? Is he? Here. Give me it. You were going to spend the whole thing standing. You're nuts. So that's all. No, let me place it. Let me place it.
All right, great bit. So he's a real prankster, and he's really messing with Dave here, who definitely regretted coming to this show. He thought it was going to be a normal stand-up show, but no, the Howie Mandel, he's gonna get you. So that's funny because that's not normally what stand-up comics do.
I'll give you a good seat. I'll move it right back. I got a feeling you're gonna get tired by the end of my show, Dave. Here. You just sit up here.
Uh-oh. That's not where chairs go.
This is me. This is so... You know what? I'll ask you... Look at this. Here's something. Dave, I'll ask you this. Dave, have you ever seen one of these? Well, then look, stupid. So stupid, you just look and see. Now tomorrow when somebody says, hey, Dave, you ever seen one of these? You can go, yeah, Howie showed me one. Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave.
All right, so the joke here is just that Howie Mandel is kind of weird. People normally don't act like this. Yeah. Very funny.
Do a magic trick now. How you feeling? You feeling good? Abracadabra, I'm gonna give you a headache.
Okay, so a normal person wouldn't have done that. Or a person, sort of grounded in reality. But Howie Mandel he's a really wacky guy who is obviously struggling mentally that's the character he's playing. And so he's just, that's kind of the joke, is that, normal people don't really act like this and are generally more subdued. So, very funny.
You like 3D, the whole 3D
Like
deal?
Dave is kind of like a regular person, and Howie's a wacky guy. So that's kind of the joke there.
Okay, I know you would, because it's like a special effect. Watch this. Doesn't it look like it's coming right at you?
This great, all improv stuff. Yeah, all improv, that's what's miraculous about this. This isn't written, prepared stuff. Howie Mandel saw a regular guy sitting in a chair, and then he stole his chair, and then he put him on stage and started just whipping stuff at the guy, which is totally an unexpected and therefore hilarious thing to do. There he goes.
Is this your date? No, I've just been feeling her up. How long have you been going out? You met him in the parking lot. Are you serious? Are you one of those women? Is this costing you? You've been purchasing?
Oh, man. Great improv. Just exploding the crowd with laughter. I mean, he gets fed a line like, do you know each other? And then she says, we just met in the parking lot. And then he with his intellect and studying of stand-up comedy over all those years, he says, that you must be a whore then. And then crowd goes insane. And then he makes fun of the fact that, he's costing the guy money because he purchased this lady as a hooker. Funny stuff.
I know your type. One of them came up to me and they said to me, hey, honey, I'll do it with you for $25. And I said, I am married, right? So she says, so what? I said, so what? My wife will do it for 10. What do you mean you met in the parking lot? Where'd you meet? Really, in the parking lot? You don't know each other? Oh, in the parking lot at work. Oh, so then it's a relationship. Have you ever seen her naked? Would you like to see her naked? Take off your clothes. Would you like to see her naked? Come on, take off your shirt and let us light your nipples on fire. Just the thought of it's gonna give me a boner.
All right, some pretty risky jokes from the 1980s there. You can't really say stuff like that anymore. Kind of talking about making a woman get naked in front of everyone, and then lighting her nipples on fire. Obviously, that's an absurd thing to say. So that's part of the funny character that he's playing. But also, implying that this lady is going to give him a boner if he saw her naked. And was on fire. That's totally psychotic, which is obviously right in line with the kooky character he's playing. So.
I love getting a boner and then running really fast into a brick wall. My mom used to always make me do that. These are good seats, huh, Dave?
So that's a wacky thing. So sometimes there's a joke and then there's just a wacky thing. So a lot of the times he'll say something just kind of wacky, and that's the humor there, is that it's not a regular thing that would be a societal norm. It would be wacky. So that was wacky. Very funny.
Why don't you move up a little closer? Do you want to go sit down? Well, big fucking deal. You can sit down. Go sit down. Yeah, I need the chair there. Go ahead. That's great. Is that like one woman? Do you live with anyone, ma'am? You are so fucking loud. I have a microphone and you're louder. What is your name? What's your name? Joanne. And what do you do, Joanne? I'm a student in Toronto. Yeah, 2 people love that.
So I think it seems like most of this comedy special is him just sort of doing a lot of audience polling, asking where they work, and then sort of improving off of that. So very brave, because you never know what people are going to say. But he's doing it, and it's very good.
I'm from Canada. I moved down here. It's weird being from Canada and moving down here. It's really weird. It's different. You have different things, your IDs and everything. When I first moved down here, I went to the bank, right? Because that's what you do. And what? What are you laughing at? And then I went up to the teller because that's what you do. And the teller said to me, I need some identification. That's how she said it. I need some identification, right? So I gave her my Canadian driver's license, and she says, no, I need something with a picture on it. So I took it back and I drew a little picture on it, right? Wait. So she says, I'm sorry, sir. It's not good enough. I said, what, I gotta be a fucking artist to get an account here? Where you going? Oh.
Yeah, it's funny that he's doing these jokes, but he's really got a hawk eye watching the crowd to see if anything funny might happen out in the audience that he can grab onto and sort of turn into a lot of time. So that other joke I should explain about the driver's license, I think is fairly obvious. The joke is that when someone asked for a picture, the person was thinking about a photograph, but Howie subverted that expectation by drawing a picture on the driver's license. So amazing stuff. Very funny.
Go. All right, there he goes. Okay, he's gone. Go, okay. Did she go? I can't see. Did she go? She's gone? Okay, it's a he. All right, okay, shh. Okay, everybody. Hide. I think that'll be me. What's your name? Dolly. Hello, Dolly. Oh, hello, Dolly. You know, it's so nice to have you back where you belong. What?
That's a reference to, I think, a musical called Hello, Dolly. So that's right off the top of the head, he thought of that.
You have a complaint for me. Oh, good. This is a good time.
We went to Ed the Bevix this evening, and the waitress that served you last night said you didn't tip her too well. Oh, let's go. Sorry, buddy.
Wow, here we go. That's some conflict. Let's see how he gets out of this one.
What is that? I did tip her. Yeah. I did tip her. They gave me the food on the house, and I gave her 15%. What?
So the joke there, obviously, is that 15% of 0 is still 0. Funny.
Oh, thanks a lot. And what is his job?
I'm his bodyguard.
He brought me a beer, and
This whole situation is very funny because normally stand-up comedians stand on the stage. But here's Howie in among the audience, like a real wacky guy. So
very nice
this is
to meet
all
you.
hilarious stuff.
Oh, how you doing? This was a good time to just buy me a drink. Did you time this out? You just like looked at it and you said, let's fuck them up now. That's really great. What's your guys' names?
Tiny.
Tiny? Obviously not your body, but your dick, right?
Always funny to imply a guy has a tiny penis. Tiny penises visually are funny, physically hilarious. And again, it's one of those things you imagine that just makes you laugh. You know, here you talked about a restaurant rotating too quickly. That's a funny image, and a tiny, tiny wiener on a large man is also a very funny thing to imagine.
Your girlfriend named you Tiny. Is she here? Be cool. Yeah, be cool. All right, we won't talk about your little dick. Tiny, look in the camera so America knows this man's got no dick. What do you do? What do you do, Tiny? What is your job?
I'm a computer operator.
You're a computer operator. What does that mean? If computers want to make long-distance calls, they go through you? What company do you work for?
IB Diffusion.
IB Diffusion. IB Howie.
So fast.
This is great. This is really thoughtful of you, but I don't drink. I mean, I don't drink beer. Do you drink? Go ahead, Tiny. Guzzle the whole thing. Guzzle it, guzzle it.
Nice. All right, so the joke there is that Howie Mandel asked a man to drink a whole thing of beer, and he did it. He did it very well, so that's very funny.
That's entertainment.
Yeah, funny stuff.
What do you want? Look at this. All right, Christmas is just around the corner. Well, it's not around the corner. It's really far down the hall, and then the second door on your left. I'm going to do this for you now. Well, I'm not going to do this for you now. I'm going to do this now, and then... no, wait. I'm sorry. I'm mixed up. I'm going to do this now, and then this, and then this. Wait, I got it out of order. I'm sorry. I got it out of order. Excuse me. You know, it's my special. I'm a little bit in there. I'm going to do this, and then this, and then that. I can't remember. Anyways.
That's wacky.
I'll do a lot of that stuff
So that's
later.
funny. If it's wacky, it's funny. That's the joke.
Hello, my name is Ernest. And I am one of Santa's helpers. And tonight I have a Christmas carol for you.
Okay, so obviously he's doing a high voice, which is very funny because normally he speaks with a normal speaking voice, but now he's doing a high voice, which is very wacky and different. So that's the joke there.
Okay. All right. Okay. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me one of those little blue fuzzy things. Well, what did you get? On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me two of those green things with a piece of wood in it. And I had that little blue fuzzy thing.
Okay, yeah, he's subverting the traditional Christmas carol, the 12 Days of Christmas, by using the wrong lyrics and using a funny voice. So, very wacky, very funny.
On the second day of Christmas, the third day of Christmas, so I got mixed up.
Like applause break there.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me three of those black mushy things. And I had two of those green things with a piece of red in it. And I had that little blue fuzzy thing. Well, I wasn't going to throw it away. And on the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me nothing because she died.
Still doing the song?
Yes, that's not funny. She died. I know how you feel. I was all by myself. I had nothing left. I went home to my home and it was empty. And then I went up to the bedroom and she was no longer there. And I felt so empty. I felt so empty inside. I had nothing. And then I looked over yonder onto the dresser. Yonder was my stuffed dog, and he was in front of the dresser. So I looked over yonder onto the dresser. And on the dresser, I saw all I had left in my whole life. All I had left was on the dresser. There were 3 black mushy things. And 2 green things with a piece of wood in them. That's all I had left. I don't know where I put them.
All right, huge applause break for that joke, which was a riff on the 12 Days of Christmas Carol, which he did in a very funny voice, and then didn't do the song right, and then did a little aside story about, I guess, his little small-voiced wife being dead. And then he ended it there. So again, he subverted the expectations because you're watching this whole thing, this whole story, and thinking, where is this going? Where is this going? Is there a big punchline at the end? And there's not. He just stops, which is funny because you would think that he'd say a funny ending, but there's none, which is great because that's the joke.
Great, I should tell you that. This is a serious thing. This is not a joke. To get away from it for just a minute, or get away from joking, tell you a little bit about me. I just became a father. Well, you don't have to applaud. You don't have to applaud. It's no big deal. I just fucked my wife.
That's how it's done.
It was neat. Listen to this. It was neat. I went into the delivery room, and so did my wife, because I wanted her support, right? And I'll never forget it. I was in the delivery room, and she was on the table, and I looked at her, and I said, this is life. This is creation. This is what it's all about. I know it sounds corny, and I'll never forget this. She looked back at me, and she looked at me right in the eyes, and she said, "Ah!"
That's a great callback to the first joke he opened with, which was him yelling. So that was kind of a callback to the opening of the special. If you can remember, he said, so that was a callback to that joke. Also, if you notice, the whole time he's moving his hands like this, which is weird, which is the joke, because it's wacky. And remember, I said earlier that if it's wacky, it's funny. So that's the joke there.
He says that. And now I have a daughter. And that's neat. You know what's weird, though? Think about this. I mean, look at me for just a second and think. No, wait. Look at me and think, I'm somebody's dad. Weird. In a few years, guys are going to come to pick her up and take her out and date her, and they're going to have to meet me.
Now that would be a wacky situation, right? You know, meeting him, Howie Mandel, the crazy guy himself. Now, see, again, that's another funny thing to imagine. So that's the joke there, is imagining a guy meeting a wacky dad.
But I'm going to worry, I'm going to worry because you worry. That's why I'm going to worry that, she'll be home. I don't think I'll be able to go to sleep before she gets home. And so my wife and I have decided to do something to ensure she always comes home on time. We decided not to potty train her. That was always my rule. If a girl shit in the car, I took her home.
That's
Unless
pretty
she had
wacky.
really big tits. What? You know what else?
Great callback. Callback again. Another callback there. Another great callback to the beginning.
Well, nice talking to you. I live in California now. I'm living in California. It's weird. I've decided I want to be like everybody else, so I've decided to get into shape, and the shape that I've chosen is a triangle. So I was getting up every morning and I was jogging for like a half an hour, and then I said to myself, fuck, if I take the car, I could save so much time. And then I wanted to get into the aerobics and stuff, and I bought the Jane Fonda tape, and I was doing the aerobics. That's so fucking hard, right? I bought On Golden Pond.
So back in the 80s, there's an actress named Jane Fonda who had a very successful fitness tape series, and so that joke is a reference to that. So everyone here watching the video, if you remember that, you'll laugh, you'll think that's great. Everyone else, just know that that's the joke, and now you can laugh as well.
Somebody told me Barbarella is so much easier. What are you laughing at? What if this was biting my dick off? No, it's not real. It's just rubber. It's a rubber alligator. It's not real. It's rubber. It's rubber. For that new preppy look. I saw you asking your wife, sir. You don't get it, do you? What's your name?
Warner.
Warner?
Yes.
One of the brothers?
So fast.
What is it? You're Warner? What do you do, Warner?
I'm a business broker.
You're a business broker?
Right.
And what does that mean? You sell and buy and sell businesses?
Yes.
And you don't get this? You don't understand? Don't you see the kids today, those wacky kids with the rock and roll music, wearing alligators on their sweaters?
I don't know where that goes.
You don't know where this goes? I had it on my dick a minute ago.
Poor Warner.
Do you have any kids?
Sure.
Oh, those are all the kids. You brought the kids. So you're sitting there, and who else in the family is there? Everybody's a kid.
They're all here with me.
So your daughters are here, and I'm talking about dicks. Do you think they know what I mean? Do they, Warner? Did you ever sit down with them and say, listen, honey, this is a dick?
That's it. That's kind of another wacky situation to imagine there. So that's the joke there, is that it's sort of another wacky situation. Sitting down.
What's your name? Dave. And what do you do, Dave? You're a G-man. You pick up garbage. Oh, but you say G-man, but you pick up garbage, so you're a garbage man who wears like a trench coat. And a fedora. You're a garbage man. So do you only work, I wanted to ask you, I always wonder, do you guys just work like Wednesday? What do you do the rest of the week, Dave? What, you plan Wednesday? What do you do the rest of the week? I'm asking you seriously. What is your job the rest of the week? I know there's like
5 days a week.
5 days a week?
For a village.
For a village? You're the village garbage man. Some people are the village idiot, but you're Dave, the village garbage man. And
So it's a lot of this joke here, of this crowd interaction, is just how fast Howie Mandel is at coming up with these jokes right on the spot. He said, this guy says, I'm a village garbage man. And then Howie Mandel says, so there's village garbage men, and you're not the village idiot? So that's a very funny joke, but the fact that he thought of that right away, it makes it so much funnier, Because in the room, it's like, how did he come up with this stuff?
In those little villages.
Very funny.
Oh, just that one little village. You're Dave from just that one little village. It's such a sweet story. Now let me ask you, there's like 3 men on a truck. And like, do you pull in the morning, do you draw straws and say, I'll drive? No. How do you know who's gonna drive and who's just gonna ride on the back and pretend they're firemen? Pardon me?
The biggest guy's the driver.
The biggest guy's the driver, right, because you want the small little guys to pick up all the heavy garbage.
Howie's just destroying this guy. This is almost hard to watch. This guy's getting
Pardon me?
owned.
You want to go in there Monday and argue with him?
No! What are you getting pissed at? I'm just talking to you. So apparently you're not the biggest guy, are you? Just hang on. Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome to the village.
Oh, great callback. He thought of that just then. Again, a lot of the humor of the joke comes from just how fast he thought of doing an impression of the Garbage Man.
What's your name? Mark, and what do you do, Mark? A manager. And do you manage anything in particular, Mark? Pardon me? Trucks. And no people, you just manage. There's like 2 vans and you're the manager. What's your job? What kind of trucks?
Terminal manager.
Pardon me?
Terminal manager.
Terminal manager. Okay, we got trucks.
As a side note, it's amazing how many well-paying jobs there were in the 80s. It's crazy. All these people have all these different occupations, and they've got enough disposable income to go out and see one of the best comedians working at that time. So it's really cool to see a window into the past like this.
And the airport. Explain, what the fuck do you do?
Get him, Howie. Make him tell you.
You work for a trucking company. Oh, that clears it up. And what is your job? What would have to be happening at the trucking company for them to go, fuck, get Mark? Did you work today, Mark? No. Did you work yesterday?
Yes.
And what happened? Nothing. Nothing, and then you said slow. And I guess if something happens, that's busy. So, do you like it when nothing happens?
That's the best time.
That's the best time, when nothing happens. And what do you do when nothing's happening?
Great little goofy laugh there. Again, he kind of went back into his goofy guy character.
And do you use your left
Funny.
or your right? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? I've asked you 3 fucking times.
Obviously, so asking them really fast in a row like that and then saying, come on, I asked you 3 times is very wacky, because normally you ask someone their name and then they answer, you give them time to answer. But he gave them no time to answer. Very
What's
funny.
your name? David, and what do you do, David? An assistant manager.
Perfect.
This is like a dick with a camera on it. Don't you wish you had a camera on your dick so you can see what you're getting into?
Great callback to the lizard joke he did just a little bit earlier. He brought out a little rubber alligator and pretended it was a penis, and then he saw that the camera there. He said, "Doesn't this look like a dick?" And then he also mentioned a man and then said he has a tiny penis. So a lot of really great callbacks to penises. You got to really pay attention.
Whoa. That's so weird. Look at this, it goes right overhead. This is like Busby Berkeley.
This is very wacky.
Great, thanks.
Very funny because it's wacky.
Are there any doctors here? Are there any doctors
Wacky
here?
stuff. Okay, more audience polling. I think he's going to get to everybody tonight, hopefully.
Are you a doctor? What's your name?
Andy, Dr. Andy.
And what kind of medicine do you practice?
Maybe he's a penis doctor.
Internal medicine. So if someone gets sick outside, you can't do anything. Sorry, it's raining. My arm hurts. You know anything about emergency medicine? A little. Well, I guess it's important to know a little. And okay, what do you do? I'll give you a quiz. Okay, Dr. Andy? All right. What do you do when somebody comes into the emergency room with a gunshot wound to the chest? What do you do, Andy? Call a surgeon. Even I know what to do. Even I know what to do. You got to get D5 lactated ringers, colloids, O-negative blood, an intubation tray with a 22-centimeter endotracheal tube, an open thoracotomy tray, and 2 number 16 central intravenous catheters and a mass suit. Stat, right?
Okay, he had that one all lined up, ready to go. So that was a perfect setup. So again, he's a real maestro. That's why he said, is anyone here a doctor? Because he had his doctor joke perfectly lined up. So he's been baiting the crowd this whole time, and then that's kind of the behind the scenes of how that worked. And obviously it's very funny that he somehow knew all the information about what to do with a chest wound. So funny that he knew what to do. Great stuff. Huge applause break.
Don't applaud. Don't applaud. I'm wrong. You're supposed to call a surgeon.
Nice.
Think about this. I go into stores every day, and I buy these things. Just thinking about this. I go up to the cash register and I say, I'll take these. And the lady always says, well, what do you need these for? And I say, well, it's for work. So if you ever see me on the street with this shit, you go, Howie's going to work. When I was living at home, I'd leave in the morning. My mom would say, Howie, where are you going? I'd say, I'm going to work. She'd go, you forgot these. And now I travel a lot, and I gotta have this stuff in my bag, and it goes through the X-ray machine. So you always see my bag going through on the X-ray, like. And they'll pull this stuff out, and they'll go, okay, what's this for? And I say, well, it's for work. And then they take them away. They confiscate it. Customs always takes this shit away from me. I have stuff in every city. There's like a plastic crab, a dinosaur. They take it away from me like I'm gonna hijack the plane with it. Okay, take me to Lebanon. Better listen to him, Hank, he's got a crab.
Great, that's a great joke there. Obviously the humor is that imagining sort of the wacky situation of a crab being used to hijack a plane, which is just totally absurd and absolutely hilarious to imagine. So again, the joke is just sort of the imagining of the wacky situation.
I was on my way here tonight, the car broke down. I didn't think I was gonna make it, and I had to take a cab here, and I said to the cab driver, I said, get me to the Bismarck really fast. So around every corner we went, ah, ah. By the time I got here, my throat was so sore.
Big applause break for that joke. Obviously a great bait and switch. You think, oh, that's the sound of the car tires, but Howie subverts your expectation on that and turns the whole thing on its head and says, no, he implies that was him making those noises. So again, the humor comes from the involuntary response of just the shock of hearing something that's so funny because it's so different than what you thought it would be.
And one of you guys came in the next stall, right? I mean, you walked in. And I had a chocolate bar in my bag, and I took it out, and I rubbed it all over my hand, and I stuck my hand underneath to your stall, and I went, hey, man, you got any toilet paper? You still here?
So that's a wacky thing to imagine, obviously. The situation of sitting in a stall and then implying you have a shit-covered hand and putting it in the stall to the person next to you saying, hey man, you got any toilet paper? Very funny thing to imagine. Again, the humor is imagining an absurd situation. Normally, in people's lives, people's lives are extremely boring and nothing very wacky happens. And so when he describes wacky stuff, it's very funny and exciting.
Shit like that. Like 2 weeks ago, I went to a porno movie and I took a squirt gun filled with Jergens lotion.
So in the 1980s, there were these things called porno theaters because there was no internet back then. So people would all go to a big room and jerk off together watching a porno film collectively. So very different time.
It's an inside joke. I'm gonna try something now.
Yeah.
This is something I've never tried before, but because this is a special, I should also say that we're recording an album tonight here.
That's very funny because a lot of this is crowd work. So for this to be a comedy album is really tricky because a lot of the time the people in the crowd are not mic'd up properly. So it's kind of funny to imagine Howie yelling out, "What do you do for a living?" and then not hearing what people say back, and then the crowd just going wild. So pretty wacky thing to imagine.
So when you buy it, you say, "Hear that? That was me." I just finished side one, so I'm gonna have to ask everyone to turn over. You people have been great. I really appreciate, and I'm gonna do something that, let me just say something. I'm gonna do something that's dangerous. I'm gonna do a stunt. No, I'm gonna do it, and the cameras are here. You guys all ready? Everything's set. Okay. I will be. You know why I love you? Because you worry about me. All right. Shh. Okay, shh. Shh. All right. Okay. I'm gonna stand on one leg and flap my arms really, really hard.
All right, again, the humor here for this joke comes from the subversion of your expectation that a stunt would be some big dangerous activity, but then he doesn't. He just does something kind of lame, and obviously a joke about standing on one leg. He stands on a fake leg. You think it's going to be he's going to have one leg raised. So a lot of subverting of what you think is going to happen going on here, which of course is very, very funny, and the crowd explodes with laughter. Great stuff.
All right. All right. I'm going to try something for you people. I'm going to try something tonight. I'm going to try the exact same stunt without a net.
So these are just kind of little wordplay jokes, obviously. Without a net, you would think a big net, but he had a hairnet on. Very funny.
I'm going to be in the lobby after the show, and I'm going to be selling these, and these are for the ladies. It's good to be security conscious nowadays. It really is good to be security conscious. And ladies, this is Howie's new rape whistle. And this is better than the old type of rape whistle because it rather than getting help, it deters the guy who's bothering you. See, you just hold this in the palm of your hand. I feel like Kate Hell. You just hold this in the palm of your hand, and say you're going out to your car and it's dark and a guy wants to bother you, all you got to do is squeeze it.
You thought it was going to be a whistle.
And he goes away.
But it's a fart sound.
It's easy.
Different than what you thought.
I mean, you don't just do it. I mean, there's instructions too. It's not that easy. You don't just do it. I mean, you got to make the face too. If you know the words, sing along. It's a great. I have this in my hotel. I had it in the elevator. The doors closed at the lobby and people...
So that's very funny because of the tension and release of that joke because he sets up a horrifying situation, a vulnerable woman in a dark parking lot and being stalked by a rapist, and then she pulls out her rape whistle because it's about to be a really serious situation, and so the crowd is all fraught and tense, and then it's a fart sound.
People press 26
Very
and
funny.
28 out.
Oh, there we go.
We'll get off. What's your name? Me. That's a good name, Me. And your brother is him, and your parents are them.
He's so fast.
Them.
He's so fast.
Me, come here. Who? Him? No, you. You, me. Them, us. What do you do, Me? I'm Me too. What do you do?
I cut hair.
You cut hair. Great. And on people? Or you just sit at home with some strands and go, I'm working. Come up here.
Wacky.
Come here.
Wacky thing.
Come here, Me.
Uh-oh.
Whoa. Okay, what I want you to do you have your own salon?
Yeah.
You don't have your own salon? What do you think? You cut hair, huh? You're using, is there mousse in there right now?
Hairspray.
Hairspray. What's the difference? What works better, mousse or hairspray? No, I was on a hairdresser's convention. I wasn't on the hairdresser's convention. This is a true story. I was on a plane, I was flying somewhere, and there was a bunch of hairdressers, and the landing gear wouldn't go down. And you know what? Instead of putting foam on the runway, they put mousse. And you know what? We landed, and we had so much body, and we felt good. That's great. There's a lot of hairspray. Ooh, this is hard.
So fast.
Wow, this is really hard. Feel this.
That was a penis joke. Risky stuff. Again, risky stuff to be, making a joke about telling us a woman you don't know to touch your hard penis. Again, this is the 1980s, so it's different. It was okay to make fun of, do sexual innuendos and make fun of kind of sexual harassment and people with developmental disabilities. So you have to kind of put yourself in the mindset of this era. We don't do this anymore, of course, but very funny.
Donald Dick. Okay, what I want you to do is this is a serious thing, okay? I want you to demonstrate this thing with me. What I'm gonna do is
I have to make the face?
you make the face, I'll make the noise, all right? Oh, it'll be neat. Have you done this before?
No.
You've never done this before?
Okay.
Bullshit, you've never farted. Really, you've never farted? Stand back, she's gonna explode! So great, on my special, the only woman who's never farted. Get Guinness. Let's stick a pin in her.
Yeah. So the joke is that she's full of farts.
Okay, you gonna make the face? What, no. You wanna make the noise?
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay, you make the noise and I'll make the face. Go ahead. Oh, classy woman. Yeah, that's my hairdresser. What? No, come on, you make the face. It'll be neat, all right? You do it. Go ahead, do it. Do it. Do it! Okay, ready? On the count of 3.
do it again for me.
What do you mean? You gotta rehearse farting? What are you, a method farter? No rehearse. Oh, I guess this is television, right?
Well, I don't practice all the time.
You don't practice all the time. All right. Well, I'm sure you look like a natural. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now you do it. Okay, now you do it. Ready? 1, but you really exaggerate and stuff.
No, you
No, do it.
like that.
Do it. Just shut up and have a good time. Okay, ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Oh. There it is. Always funny to imagine ladies farting. That's a very wacky
now let me do it with
situation.
this, okay?
Because normally ladies don't fart.
That's really neat. You can sit down. You're wearing satin pants, aren't you? Those satin pants. Are you wearing underwear?
Another kind of Funny joke
You got him
about
from that guy.
sexual
You can sit down now.
harassment
You come
there.
here. What is wrong with this? How does it?
Are you wearing any underwear? I got a hard
That's great.
penis.
Thank you for farting for me.
Very inappropriate, but the crowd loves it.
Do you mind? My name is Bobby.
Oh, here we go. Is a funny high voice guy. This is different than the other one, I think.
A lot of kids come up to me and they say, Bobby. So I say, what? Well, what would you say? And they say, could you tell me something about yourself? And I tell them, yeah. And I tell them that I'm potty trained.
So high voices it was something that was very big in the 80s. They did an Alvin and the Chipmunks series and Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas. So people in this time really loved high voices. I think it's important to understand that the 1980s is full of a lot of high people. The stock market was very high. The people were very high on cocaine. The voices were very high. It was just kind of a very high time to be alive. So a lot of, you can see that in the enthusiasm of the crowd. They're just going nuts for everything. Ronald Reagan had just deregulated the stock market. Houses were still quite affordable back then. So people were just living and loving life to the fullest extent here. So you really have to imagine what it was like to be happy to understand this humor.
And it took my mommy 1 whole year to potty train me. Every time, my mommy would put me on the potty, I would cry. Every time. Please don't laugh. Every time my mommy would put me on the potty, I would cry. And then one day my mommy said to me, she said, Bobby. So I said, what? Well, what would you say? And she said, how come every time I put you on the potty, you cry? And I told her, Mommy, it's my potty, I'll grab my wardrobe.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Big word play joke to end the special. From the song It's My Party and I'll Cry If I Want to. That's the joke there. Standing ovation. Standing ovation for Howie Mandel here. So back in the 1980s, there were 6 television channels and 15 comedians. So these people were very excited to see one of the 15 comics, Howie Mandel, one of the best of them. And these people would all go home and they were all excited to watch this on TV on one of the 5 channels that they had.
That's me.
Oh, he's doing the callback to the beginning. So he's kind of tying it all in here.
I like toys and stuff. Do you guys like toys? You know what I used to? Here's what I used to do. I used to play Twister. I used to play Twister alone. And I always won. And I liked Mr. Potato Head. All my friends had Mr. Potato Head, and we couldn't afford potatoes, so my parents used to let me just stick shit on my grandmother's face.
That's a wacky thing to imagine.
And now I'm inventing games. I'm inventing games. Oh, listen to this. I'm inventing games. I just invented. It's like a cube. It's a cube of hair. A cube of hair, and you twist it around. Oh, here's what you do, okay? No, when I think about it, I get excited. I get a warm feeling inside, and I start to do this. Okay, there's a cube of hair, and you twist it around, and you try to get all the hair on each side curling the same way. And I call it Pubix Cube.
Okay, funny wordplay joke there. Instead of a Rubik's Cube, it's a Pubix Cube. All right, just got a glove out here.
I think this is a nice look.
Now, normally gloves don't go on the head. But that's kind of the joke there. It's like gloves usually go on the hand, but it's
Whenever I put
wacky.
rubber on my head, I feel like such a dick.
This is a pretty wacky thing to do.
I think you should do this in your car on the way home, just at the red light.
Imagining that situation is very funny, so that's the joke.
Thank you very much.
And then he shoots that glove right off his head, which is a pretty wacky thing to do. But that's kind of the joke, is that, again, a normal activity, you wouldn't really do that. All right.
I've got some questions. All right. Okay, where did you find cottage cheese in your shoes? Or you see a hamster named Philip, and he's on the news.
This is okay, it's like
Turtle bites you in the ear.
a music video of
Left knee is the only way to come up the
wacky
ear.
stuff.
What? Can't hear you, got pants on. Get it? You don't get it. All right, well. I do the Watusi.
Okay, so the joke here
I do the Watusi.
is Howie Mandel sort of doing again his character who is a neurodivergent character. Okay, and the crowd is dancing along again. The 80s is a very optimistic time, and people, when people are economically secure, they really just let loose. You wouldn't see this at a stand-up show in the 21st century, because a box of cereal is $8, so people just kind of give it up. So Watusi is obviously must be some sort of.
No, I want to ask one more, please. Let me. Oh, come on.
I have to look up what I think it's a Japanese word. Tusi
Okay, all right.
means chromosome, and wa means too many.
They got tinfoil on their elbows.
So again, it's sort of tying into the character that Howie Mandel is doing that obviously would not work today. Okay, so there's still, I guess, there's still more of the special to go.
Howie Mandel to London because there's lots to scream about in London.
Waiting
Three's
for
company was videotaped in front of a studio
waiting for
audience.
Howie to come back
Coming up
here
next,
at
it's
any
Kiss and
time.
Tell time as Chuck Woolery hosts a hilarious half hour of video dating's most revealing moments on the Best of Love.
Now, this doesn't look like a
Connection.
normal comedy
Coming up next
special
on Channel
again.
61.
It kind of, I guess the joke here is that it kind of looks like a different TV show, or like a different program altogether. Again, you expect
This
to see.
is Connecticut's #1 independent. 61
You
TIC
expect to see a
TV.
comedy show here with a stage and Howie on stage again, but Howie does things very differently. So again, he's subverting your expectation here.
Welcome to Love Connection.
So this looks very different than the comedy special.
Modern-day technology.
But obviously,
Where you hear
again,
all the intimate details.
he's
of
not
first
a
date.
regular comedian.
Sometimes
It's very
our dates
different.
have a happy ending. And some other times, there's just an ending.
It looks like a totally different show here. It doesn't even look like Howie Mandel Special anymore, again, which I think is the joke. Is that you expect it to be a comedy show, but now it looks like a completely different show.
Everybody, thank you. Welcome to the show. Nice to have you here. All right, welcome you. Welcome to everyone.
I'm not sure who this guy is.
Our first guest.
But I think he's going to bring out Howie again.
He's anxious to get married again, and he says that dating is becoming a real chore, but he's got to keep doing it. Please welcome Robert McElroy.
All right, I guess Robert McElroy was a comic working back in the 80s.
Why is dating such a chore for you, Robert?
Well, I'm looking for a wife, and you know, I've dated so much, and it doesn't seem like maybe I'm asking too much. I've looked and looked probably over 1,000 women, and I'm sick of it. I'm burned out on it.
Well, you know, maybe you ought to date just for fun, and if a wife comes out of it, that's great. Why don't you just do that?
Probably should.
Just have a good time, and if somebody strikes your fancy, you go, whoops, somebody got in one ear.
So this is, I think this is a kind of a joke about how, you know, this is obviously not Howie Mandel here, but Howie Mandel would have thought of something really funny to say to this guy. Like this guy says, oh, I've dated over 1,000 women. And, you know, Howie probably would think of something really funny off the top of his head, like, oh, wow, you must have a tiny or a big penis, like a big hard penis. Would you touch my hard penis? But this guy isn't Howie, so he has kind of a boring response. So again, I think this is part of the joke, is that it's different than what you expect.
I don't know. I keep thinking I'm getting too old for some reason. I don't want to be too old when I have kids.
No, you're not too old. Good night. You're like 31.
They don't come around knocking on the door saying, you know, I'm eligible and I'm sweet and I'm the best thing that ever happened.
Tell me what you hope married life will be like.
Heaven.
Yeah,
Heaven.
Really?
You know, somebody will make a home that I can make a home with, a foundation. Give me something to work for, work together, and have a beautiful family.
When it's good, it's great, I'll tell you. From experience, it's the best.
You're a lucky man.
I am a lucky man. I'm going to bring everybody up to date on what happened yesterday. We showed the audience Robert's 3 choices. They voted on which one they thought would be best for him. I'm going to take a look at all 3 of them again. First, there was Julie. She described herself as loyal.
I think this, let me just look here at the comments. Okay, this is, okay. So the comedy special, this goes on for a little while longer. Howie doesn't come back. I guess the comedy special just kind of ends with like a dating show, which is very funny because that's not really how comedy specials usually end. So again, he's subverting the expectation, which shocks you, which makes you laugh. So that's kind of the joke there. This was a real treat getting to watch Howie Mandel. He's one of the pioneers of comedy, like I said before. There were about between 15 and 25 people doing stand-up professionally during the 80s, and about 38 people sort of trying to break into the industry. So he's a real pioneer, and there were very few channels on television. So he broke really large, subverting stand-up comedy and putting on his wacky character that struggled mentally. And he's made a huge career out of it. And then he went on to host a very successful television show, which it was a game show trivia show where the only question was yes or no. So he's had a huge career. He's made tens of millions of dollars. He's one of the best comedians working today. I highly recommend you check out all of the stand-up he's done over these many decades working in the industry. If you like this video, please give us a like and a subscribe, and we'll be back with more Jokes Explained in the near future. Thanks so much for watching. Do the Watusi.
I've got some questions. Okay, what do you do when a guy puts mayonnaise on your shoulder? Or your mom puts your socks in the freezer just to get them colder?